Hey guys, this is Stephanie and I am Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Hello and welcome to day 28 of the Spring To It Videothon. I cannot believe we are almost done. This has gone so quickly. Today's topic is worst and best reads. Worst and best reads so far this year. Today's topic is worst and best reads of the year so far. And today we are talking about our worst and best reads of 2018 so far. Now, I actually haven't had a lot of horrible reads, which is good. Only a few that I'm going to be talking about today. The first one I'm going to talk about is 1984. Now, it's not that this book is so terrible. I know people who love this book, but this book is so depressing. There's like nothing good. It's just this suppressed communist society where they like control everything down to what you're thinking. So it's called Thought Speak. Something like that, where they like monitor your thoughts and you can't like think, oh, that girl's hot, or I'm really enjoying myself, or anything like that. Like if you have positive, good emotions, they will shut it down. And I mean, it's a terrible society to live in. I understand that it was written to forewarn us so we don't live in like this crap hole society, but I tell you, I would not live in that crap hole society. That book was depressing as all get out. I didn't like it. I know I was supposed to like it. I didn't like it. I also didn't really care for The Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend by Katrina Bavald. Oh, and 1984 is by George Orwell. This one, I just was a bit of a letdown. It had way too much romance in it. I wasn't expecting that romance, nor did I appreciate that much romance, so I didn't particularly like it. Basically, we have a girl named Sarah who is coming over from Sweden to Iowa to kind of break out of her monotonous world. She's really big on reading and books. She doesn't have a lot of friends in person or anything like that. She makes friends with this older lady from Iowa and decides to go visit her for like 3 months. And when she gets there, her friend Amy is dead. So she's faced with quite a few decisions, whether she should stay in the town or try and change her ticket and go home. But she feels like she knows these townspeople and feels like they're her friends because her and Amy have been writing back and forth, and she feels like she just knew them all. That's basically the premise. It sounded good, and then somewhere in the midst of there, a bookstore is opened, and that got me really excited. But like I said, the romance was so overshadowing, I was just like, I'm over it. Wasn't a good read for me. Another bit of a letdown read I had was The Zookeeper's Wife. I found the pacing in this book just awful. They would go on tangents all the time, and I think the book was more historically accurate than historically fictional, which I was expecting fictional, and I would have to say it's pretty accurate. But they would be like, and in this cage we had the kangaroo. Now this kangaroo's name was Jed, and he was from Arkansas, and he got here by a boat, and then a bicycle, and then a U-Haul, like, and it's just like tangent city. So you lose the pacing of the book and the characters that you're following. I feel like if they would just follow the characters and had like a million side notes, it would have been better, but it was rough and I did not like it. And the last one that I didn't really care for, worst so far this year, but it wasn't terrible, would have to be A Whole New World by Liz Brashwell. This was just kind of a phone-in for me. It was just okay. Like some of it was clever, but the vast majority of it I was like just lost interest in, was just reading it to read it. And I didn't really love it. Basically, we are retelling the story of Aladdin if Jafar would have gotten the lamp and Aladdin hadn't gotten the lamp. And it did go kind of dark kind of quickly, which surprised me because I think it's supposed to be YA, but it was fine. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. And now I get to talk about my best reads of 2018 so far, which I always like talking about books that I love. First one I'm going to talk about is Sparkling Cyanide by Agatha Christie. I read this one I think in February because my niece had read it and she was like, it's an Agatha Christie you haven't read? What? So I went to the library, got it, and read it, and I loved it. Typical Agatha Christie, it is a mystery. We open with a woman who has committed suicide by taking cyanide. We're following her husband and her sister who survived her. Other characters are in her life as well, and as we're learning more about them, we become more and more aware that this was probably not a suicide, but a murder. And then somebody tells her husband, she didn't commit suicide, she was murdered, which makes him want to go and investigate things as well. And being an Agatha Christie book, you just never know who did it, and that is just part of the charm. This was a 5-star read. It was fantastic. I also read Endless Night, also by Agatha Christie, and this was another 5-star read, not surprised. It was a little different than some of her other ones. It starts with two people who are meeting, and the first half of the book is like, oh, they meet and they fall in love and they're kind of an unlikely pair, but it happens. And I'm like, we're halfway through the book and nobody's dead. I don't understand what is going on. And then about halfway through the book, I'm like, oh, I see what's going on. And then things happen and finally we show up with a body. But by that point, I'm so lost about who did it. I have no idea what's going on, but I will tell you, it is a great book. Completely enjoyed it. 5 stars. I also read Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. He is the author of the Scott Pilgrim series as well, which I'm currently making my way through. I loved this. This was another 5-star read. Basically, we are following, what's her name again? Basically, we were following a girl named Kate, who is a chef, and it opened a restaurant named Seconds with a friend of hers, and the restaurant didn't quite go the way she wanted to. So she sold her bit to him, and then she's going to open another restaurant, and it's going to be exactly what she wants. But as we are following Kate through these steps, we're realizing that Kate has a lot of regrets. Kate has done things that she regrets after she did it, but doesn't know how to quite go back and fix things. Well, something magical happens and she has the chance to take something back. So we're basically following Kate through her decisions of regret and the magical ability to take things back and how that actually turns out for her. This is an excellent graphic novel. I super enjoyed it. I don't think I was expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, but I did, and I will definitely read this one again. Next great read of the year would have to be Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 3rd book in the first Mistborn trilogy. This was a fantastic read. I can't talk much about this because it is the 3rd book and it would give so much away, but I want to talk about it because it was so good. Because there's the thing that happens at the very end with the 2 people, and then the guy comes out and he sees them and he's like, oh, I get it. And then the other guy who has the thing, oh, it's so good. You'd have to read all 3 books to understand even half of what I just said. But this is a series where basically the good guy and the bad guy have fought, and the bad guy won and has become the Lord Ruler of the world. And we have a small band of people who would like to oppose the Lord Ruler. Fortunately, they have a little bit of magic on their side. Following this unlikely band of people against something that is impossible, but it's so well written and the characters are all so wonderful. I think about these characters and I'm like, yeah, I kind of love them all. Yeah, I do. Great book. Another 5-star read I have read so far this year is Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wynn. Now, I absolutely love this book, and people said I would love this book, and I was like, maybe. It's YA, and sometimes when YA tries to get serious, I get irritated. I did not get irritated. It's actually a little dark for YA, but I tell you, it was really good. Basically, we are following 2 girls who get stuck behind German-occupied France during World War II. One is a pilot and one is a spy. We are following both of them through letters that are being written. One has been captured by the enemy and the other one has been captured by the French resistance. So basically, you're following these 2 girls on their 2 very different journeys, and you will laugh and you will cry, and it is a fantastic book. Just read it. Another great read that I have read so far this year would be Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second half of the Six of Crows duology. I really did enjoy this book. I felt like it wrapped things up really well, yet there's still things that were left undone that if she wrote a 3rd book, I would be okay with that. Of course, I would read about anything Leigh Bardugo writes, I think. Yeah, I would read about anything. Basically, this series, we are following 6 slightly unsavory people that are all pulling together to do a heist. It is a heist that cannot be done and most likely will not be done, but that doesn't seem to stop our characters from attempting to do it. It's a wonderful world and it's a wonderful story, and it's such good writing and there's such amazing characters. Definitely a 5 out of 5. And the last one I'm going to be talking about is Red Rising. Yes, I still do not have my copy back, so I will be holding up this one. But in Red Rising, we are on Mars, where the caste system is based on the color of your skin. Our lowest people are the red, so their face is red, their hair is red, they wear red, they are red. And they are kind of the bottom of the food chain. The top of the food chain is going to be the golds. We are following Darrow, and he is a red. Basically, Darrow set out on a journey to better himself and better the lives of his people. And that's about all I'm going to tell you, because not knowing is the best part of the book. And that is it, you guys. Those are my best and my worst reads of 2018 thus far. I feel like it was a pretty short list, but then again, I've only been reading for like, 3.5 months so far? So it's what it is. Feel free to comment down below with what your best and your worst reads have been this year, because I would love to know about that. And if this looks like fun, it is, you can also participate. Feel free to do one of our videos that passed or one of the 2 that are left, or today's video too. You can post these after us, with us, before us, whatever you do, let us know because we want to be watching your videos too. And go check out all of my co-hosts linked down below: Bruce Reviews, Brooke Clark, Christina's Journey, Danny Buxton, and The Story with Serenity Dawn. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to return tomorrow because I will be here to see you. Goodbye.